Did you know this podcast is powered by Acast? Acast is the home of podcasting. For creators looking for freedom to grow their listeners and make money too. And creative brands looking for smart ways to advertise. Podcasters and advertisers in the know Acast. It's time you did too. Visit acast.com to find out more. Acast, for the stories.
This one might be a shorter episode because the Blizzard stuff is kind of only like 2 sentences. And there might be other things we have. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's definitely other things. Are they exciting? They're definitely not.
Will we make them exciting?
It's a possibility.
Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, Nate.
Whoa, hey, whoa, hey. Let's relax.
Hey, this is the Gamers 2 podcast. We do it every week. It's a weekly roundup of news and our commentary on the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. Yeah.
Cool.
Piquing interest.
Speaking of piquing interests, the Field of Dreams game happened last night.
It sure did. Looked great.
Yeah. I don't have any like true attachment to the movie.
No, I mean, is it an iconic baseball movie? Yes.
Yeah. Is it the best one? No.
Yeah, like I thought it's definitely a cool idea. It seemed really well received and well executed.
Yeah.
It looked awesome. Looked cool.
Yeah. It was a solid event. There is definitely that moment though where when I was watching it live, I had the same reaction your wife did.
Mm-hmm.
Because Costner walks out from the corn. He's like walking into the field. And there's a lot of that moment when you watch it live where I was like, how long are you going to walk, man? We gotta get to a game.
Yeah.
But I appreciated the slowness, but not that much.
Yeah. What I appreciated about it was it wasn't cringy or over the top, which it could very easily like make that could happen.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It definitely very much was like
there was still a little cringe. I think the call and response of "Is this heaven? No, this is Iowa" was a little little cringy, but
to be expected.
Yeah,
but the whole thing in general wasn't.
It wasn't the ninja. I don't see movement, so
yeah, it's not over the top. So
yeah, and it was still cool to see them play in a cornfield and smack home runs into corn.
Yeah, yeah. The game seemed to. I only watched like a couple innings. That reminds me of something I have to tell you off air, but that's fine. Where was I going with that? The game seemed exciting. Like if you watch the whole game, it seemed like it was a rewarding game.
It did take the crowd, I think, a little bit to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the first like 2 innings, maybe they kind of weren't sure.
Yeah.
Like how do we react type of moment, but then they got into it and everything was fine.
Yeah, I could see that being a weird like ambiance, like you're like that whole thing.
Yeah, part of
having be there.
Yeah,
and the type of people I know that were there based on the ticket prices.
Yes, the ticket prices mixed with there were a lot of famous or former players that were there and a lot of things. So
yeah. Did you see Hoke's fun little...
Yeah, Hoke had to take a journey from New York City because his plane got delayed, which with the storms we were experiencing, I was like, that makes sense. But then the man's like, welcome to the journey of me driving to Iowa. Yeah. And I was like, you psycho.
Yeah.
I love it.
Seemed interesting. It was a cool little
I happened
story.
I happened to catch the beginning of it, and then I went to work in the morning, and I checked back in, and he's like, you wouldn't believe this gas station, but I needed my coffee. Still got to go.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I don't know why. I saw like his tweet that was like, Hoke happy hour if you want to join me before my flight because it was delayed or whatever. And then I saw flight canceled.
Yeah.
And that was like the last thing I saw.
Yeah, I happened to come across in the morning when I was doing my normal like update race. I get to my desk and I saw it and I was like, oh, he is still just going.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Should we jump into it?
We should. With things that could also distract you.
Like new releases.
Like new releases and Nate's tablet closing the dock constantly.
Got him. I do have exciting news. I got a PS5.
Ooh.
So that's crazy.
You're almost a real gamer.
Almost.
Now you just have to play something on it.
I do think I have to wait. The unfortunate side is I think I have to wait like a month for it to get here.
Nah, that's about right.
Got it through Walmart. A friend picked it up for me. And I'm pretty sure they're not in the country yet. And they were just like...
They're probably just on
we have these allotted to us.
Yeah, they're on a ship somewhere, and we have to figure out what ship they're on, but like we'll sell them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So,
love it. Anyway, let's go with the new releases. Number 1, City of Gangsters for the PC. Glyph for the PC. Carrier Command 2 for the PC. Godfall for PS4. Haha, PS5 exclusive, loser.
Got us with that.
Can exclusive mean anything anymore? The most exciting game in this, Lawn Mowing Simulator for the PC and Xbox Series X. Number 6, Seed of Life for the PC. Number 7, Glitch Punk for the PC. Number 8, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Siege of Paris DLC.
Fancy.
We're going to Paris. Take down Ubisoft. There's going to be an Ubisoft Office reference somewhere in there.
It's like a weird worlds colliding situation because there's an anime that I watched the first season of fairly recently, and one of the unfinished story threads was Siege of Paris.
Okay.
And so like when I was seeing all this stuff leading up to its release, my brain was getting like discombobulated with the anime and the game.
You're blending the two
Yeah,
things.
Because they're both Viking. So it's like,
well, that's even worse.
And the Siege of Paris, I was like, wait a second, what's going on here?
Little known fact, that's actually Ubisoft's first show they've been able to put out.
I mean, if that was the case, we'd have a different opinion of Ubisoft.
That's true.
So,
number 9, Foreclosed for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and the forgotten Stadia. Number 10, Naraka Blade Point for the PC. Number 11, Oko for PC. Number 12, Warzone Season 5 has started. Number 13, Hades for the Xboxes. Number 14, Paw Patrol Adventure City Calls for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
They have a movie coming out, I believe.
Paw Patrol?
Yeah.
Surprised that... No, I'm not surprised at all. Number 15, surprised it took this long, I guess.
And Paw Patrol's Canadian, I believe.
Sure they are. Why not? Dogs helping people? Emergency services helping people? It's not a U.S. tradition. Number 15, Scrap Garden for the Switch. 16, Shadowverse Champions Battle for the Switch. And number 17, Witch Spring 3 Refine, the story of Erudi for the Switch. That has the re-colon game in it, so that's probably some weeb shit.
I know, right? It's funny how that's an identifier for
when you just see
RE
colon, and you're like, that's immediately not a game for me.
Yeah. Me either. That's like one of my... You kind of caught a little bit of the anime conversation, but like that's one of those...
I got caught in the crossfire today, because we'll talk about later why I got caught in the crossfire today, because apparently my day was yesterday. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, anime conversation starts today, and I'm just like, I guess I'm going to be here for this.
Yeah.
I can't leave the room. It's a Snapchat conversation.
Whatever. That's one of my eliminators for animes. If it's got the re-colon game going on there, I'm out. I'm like, what is this shit?
There's too much going on there. Yeah. It was just such it was too easy. I was like, that's why I said exactly. I was like, I'm just here to make jokes. I saw the one thing, took the easy joke, and I was like, I'm just going to fade back into the background now.
Yep. That's fair.
You anime nerds.
Let's see here.
You have odds.
I have odds. So I'm doing number 1. Number 1. Let's get the Activision Blizzard updates out of the way. Shareholder SOC Investment Group has said that Activision Blizzard's promises to improve its company culture aren't enough. Quote, while we appreciate the improved tone and increased detail in CEO Kodak's... What did we settle on? Kodak. CEO Kodak's recent letter to Activision Blizzard employees, customers, and shareholders.
I mean, we can call him Bobby Big Money if you want, but
Bobby Big Money. There it is.
Big Money Bobby? I don't know which one's better.
The changes Bobby Big Money has announced do not go nearly far enough to address the deep and widespread issues with equity, inclusion, and human capital management at the company. End quote. The next little story was 3 Activision Blizzard employees have been let go in the midst of the lawsuit the company is facing. As reported by Kotaku, Diablo 4 game director Louis Barraga, you probably know these names better than I do.
Barraga, probably.
Barraga.
Those names, the Diablo people, I have no idea. Not my world.
Yeah, lead designer Jesse McCree and World of Warcraft designer Jonathan LeCraft have left the company. The news was announced internally and no reason was given for the departure, but McCree and LeCraft both appeared in the photo taken in the, quote, Cosby suite that emerged a couple weeks ago. Kotaku also reported that another employee who can be seen in that photo, lead game designer Corey Stockton, has been put on leave, although he still works for Blizzard.
For now.
Investigation ongoing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is, we kind of alluded to this a little bit. Maybe I did. I don't know exactly who said what, but this is when...
That's a good way to start this.
I know, right?
I don't know which one of us said this, but...
When they were making the changes and... what the fuck are they? The people that took over.
Co-leaders?
Yeah, the co-leaders took over. I can't remember their names now.
O'Neill and...
the
Mikey,
Xbox guy, yeah.
Mikey Barra.
Mm-hmm. This was the type of stuff that you want to see, is like them, like, you know, going through and being like, all right, we got to get some of these people out of here.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that they did this.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
this is probably...
But yes, this is still tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to see a culling of sorts. I would have preferred it to be higher.
It is fitting.
Highest.
It is fitting for Blizzard and the World of Warcraft community, as all the jokes and memes were made when this first came up, of the culling that Arthas commits at Strathhome. The entire city must be purged. Well, the entire company must be purged.
Wow. If you were worried that we weren't nerdy enough to make a gaming podcast,
don't worry, I'm here as the one true gamer.
I like that a lot.
There
for you, actually.
That just becoming my title.
Yeah, the one true gamer. That's it. That's.
Can that be
I'm
like
gonna work that into an intro.
Can that be like my middle name thing? You know what I mean?
The one true gamer, Killian.
Yeah. Then immediately relinquish my title when somebody with Final Fantasy knowledge walks into a room, and I'm like, you know what? You win, man. I'm over. I'm done. You win.
Yeah, but that's weeb territory.
That's true. That does blend weeb territory.
Yeah, that's different.
So I get to be the jock level of
it's not
weeb.
It's like just kind of like a gatekeeper video game thing.
Wait, hold on.
Which is really bad.
I don't do the gatekeeping though.
It's just the weeb thing. You know, we just got to separate.
Yeah, keep the weebs on an island.
Yeah, they're third class
over there.
You know, they're not even second class citizens. They're third class citizens.
I like that you've put yourself in a third class citizen.
Well, you know, I'm a closet weeb. It's different. I'm a second class citizen.
Because I
have the self-respect to hide it a little bit.
I have the self-respect to hide my weebness. There has been talk of people have been now clamoring for McCree, the Overwatch character, who that person is also named after inadvertently. Apparently, that's also not the character's real name. Like, it is known as McCree and yada yada. But apparently, there's voice lines that indicate what his real name is, and he just hates going by it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of talk where people are like, you guys need to change the name.
See, I don't necessarily like... it's not that I don't disagree with that, but I don't see an issue with it if the majority, if the majority of people don't even know that there's a connection there.
Right, but if it was, you're purging Afrosabi things out of WoW, you need to also purge other things that are literally named after people. Like the guy's name, the character's name is Jesse McCree. Like, purge it.
I guess. I don't know.
It makes it a little harder because then voice lines need to be redone, and there's a lot more with that specific instance that goes with purging it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of a weird gray area that definitely there's a conversation about. I know, like, I've had the conversation a few times with semi-related and in a tangential way, the whole removal of the Confederate statues and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, we've tangentially talked about that, but we've never gotten...
Yeah, there's just been some there was the stone recently out of like a college campus and stuff, and it's like you get in these weird philosophical conversations where it's like some things are obvious and on the nose, like the Confederate statues should never have been a thing, and then some things it's like, you know,
here comes every hate comment for us now.
Yeah, I know, like
Matt out here dropping just ultimatums.
Well, like, when is it too far? Because, you know, you don't want to start scrubbing history. You know what I mean? Like, it gets kind of weird.
Are we talking about the statues again, or character in a video game?
Character in a video game.
Okay, just making sure, because then your argument falls apart.
It's just like, you don't want to start... There's a weird line there between going too far when you're, like, just trying to, like, wipe it away like it never happened.
Well, what if they... wipe it away, and then they bring back a mode where they name the target dummies McCree?
Okay, see, like, that's interesting. And then there's a whole thing there.
Yeah, and you just murder him over and over and over again.
Okay, all right. Sicko. Anyways, went from video game podcast to philosophical podcast to video game podcast, and
we jump back and forth a lot. There was also talk that apparently, and I don't know if this is true because I haven't watched any of the streams, but there's talk like the Overwatch commentators and announcers and stuff just stop saying the name, like stop acknowledging the character almost, which makes that hard for them. But,
yeah,
you know, they don't want to deal with it either.
Yeah. That's probably a bad example, because the argument, like, that an easy argument to change the name is that, like, you know, if this person harmed other people and they have to, like, you know, hear that name all the time, that would be a whole thing.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm alluding to, is that's not good.
Yeah.
Must be purged.
It's just, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want people.
Blizzard can have an HR nightmare museum if they want to.
My worry, though, is that people will forget.
Yes, but also
and the half-life on people's memories on things, very small, and then next thing you know, that's how we get the repeat things where people are like, you know, you forget that we had like this issue, and then all of a sudden it becomes an issue again.
Right. I agree. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm telling you, is this isn't that instance.
Yeah.
This should just be purged, and should Blizzard so want to not forget it, they can set up a Hall of Horrors nightmare walkthrough attributed to their worst employees.
I mean, maybe that's a little...
Come look at all of our
Not quite what I would say they should do.
I mean, that's like a reverse museum. It's like a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Just like a Hall of Horrors, though.
Okay. All right.
But then you never forget it, because it's always there.
All right.
So there. What's the difference? Then you don't have to... Then at least you don't have to... If you were an abuser, you don't have to go to the museum. But that should be part of every employee's orientation, where they go, none of this shit... You all need to go walk through this and see what we're not having happen again.
Yeah, but then that's leaving them to police themselves, which
we know they can't do.
Yeah.
Number 2, consolidation inside the video game industry continues. Here's a few we'll mention this week. Pokemon Go developer Niantic has acquired Scaniverse for an undisclosed sum. Developed by Toolbox AI, the mobile app enables users to capture, edit, and share 3D scans of real-world objects using only a smartphone camera. So get ready for Pokestops to look real weird.
Yeah, could do some weird shit.
That's true. I'm glad you gave us all the data on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Be a shame if a Blastoise showed up.
All the Pokemon fans are like, yes, do that.
Yeah. Unity has swallowed up Parsec for $320 million. Founded in 2016, Parsec offers customers a remote desktop tool that uses streaming technology to allow users to work from any location. According to Unity's CEO, Parsec was already widely used by his own staff, as well as many of Unity's customers. It is also used by major games firms such as EA, Ubisoft, and Square Enix. Interesting. Oh, yeah, hey guys, so we're just all using this anyway. Should we just buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, screw it. Let's just buy it.
That was like the most recent Apple, Google, Epic thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
I mean, I glanced, but I didn't dig into it.
Google considered buying Epic because of...
yeah, like, let's just stop dealing with a lawsuit and let's just buy it.
Yeah, they're like, we should just buy it and just be done with it.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'll just buy it. Don't mind me, we're just going to throw, like, I don't know, $30 billion at it.
Make it go away.
Yeah, problem solved. And then I'm going to close Epic. But then Google would do that and then be like, all right, cool. So now I need to sue Apple.
Yeah, that's...
I no longer need to fight with Epic, but I need to go fight with Apple now.
Yep.
Service provider, Keyword Studios. Wait, is that really triple plurals? Services provider, Keywords Studios announced the acquisition of art studio AMC for a total of 2.8 million euros. AMC is based in Bucharest, Romania, and was founded in 2009. AMC primarily focuses on creation of characters, environment, buildings, vehicle, and weapons assets for clients including Activision, 2K, and CD Projekt Red.
I've noticed a trend because, like, I look at all these dumb acquisitions of
you do.
Of like these service providers buying up these little studios that do all the assets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think you're just going to end up with like
Just making them in-house, essentially.
Not even in houses. I think you're going to end up with these where you're going to have big studios and they're just going to subcontract to service providers.
Okay,
and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Just like, we're not going to hire a guy to make guns. We're just going to contract this other company.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, depending on how it works.
It's kind of like the reversal. You know how like a couple years ago, and we're still seeing the tail end of it too, where like the big studios were breaking up into tinier studios.
Yeah.
And now it's the rubber band effect is starting to cave back in. The bubble is...
Well, we're going back to that, but there was also the, like, we want to keep everything in-house moves.
Mm-hmm. Now it's like...
Bethesda.
Yeah. Now we're getting the pendulum swinging back, and it's starting to consolidate into bigger studios or like less studios, and you're getting services like...
Yeah. It's like Bethesda's biggest, as we've always said, issue is the creation engine, but they have entire honestly, some of the best horse blinders I've ever seen in terms of understanding that other engines exist.
Yeah.
Like, what? Unreal? Never heard of it. Is that like the creation engine? It's better? That's impossible. You're just like, you know what?
They don't have fucking Frank or whatever his name was.
It's always Frank.
In the closet. Duct tape.
Trapped in the closet. He is the machine. Frank is just the name of the machine at this point. It's one severed head in a jar like Futurama powering a machine at this point.
Yeah.
If that head ever shrinkles up in that water, then...
Maybe they're cloning him. We don't know.
Man, imagine if Bethesda invented cloning just to clone Frank to keep the creation engine alive and kept it under wraps for all these years, and that's why Microsoft bought them.
Oil tycoon.
Who could say that I have a tinfoil hat?
Number 3. Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment have fired Apex Legends lead game designer Daniel Z. Klein. We got all the fun news this week.
Let's just kick everybody out.
Klein confirmed via Twitter that he had been dismissed on Friday, with his comments suggesting the decision was based primarily around comments he made in a blog post in 2007. The post, entitled, quote, "I am Daniel's angry rant." End
Wait,
quote.
the title of the post is that?
Yes.
What's this guy, an idiot?
Contains sexist remarks, such as implying that no woman has ever behaved rationally, suggesting XX are the moron chromosomes, and that one particular woman should be ignored because, quote, it's just her vagina talking, end quote. Apologizing via Twitter, Klein said, quote, you may or may not have seen the awful, bigoted things I said in 2007. I wholeheartedly agree that that guy should have been fired. I have poured so much energy into becoming a better person since then, and right now I am very depressed because it feels like I'll never be able to make up for who I was, end quote. He later added EA and Respawn were, quote, absolutely within their rights to terminate me, much as I may disagree with that decision, end quote.
Sounds like he understands it. He gets it.
Yep.
That being said, out of context of like an angry rant and, you know, being gigantically sexist and yada yada, those are some solid quotes to pull out of the article.
Yeah, I mean it's objectively a quote worthy situation.
I mean, like, they're not good quotes, but I do like laugh.
They're powerful quotes.
Yeah. X are the moron chromosomes. Like that's the shit you read in like not the dark, but like the incel sections of Reddit where you're like, oh my god, these are the people that just literally hate women and don't understand that they're the problem.
I can't wait for like the sociology studies on like
game devs.
That would be interesting as well, but like this generation dealing with the fact that like everything
the first true like internet generation.
Yeah.
You've
coming to the terms of the fact that like what you put on the internet is there forever.
Yeah, you've been born and raised in it, and now you suffer your pain.
I do have to say, I mean, I'm probably guilty of this being stupid as well. I think what saved a lot of people was MySpace losing all of their backup.
Deleting accidentally their profiles. Yeah.
I think that saved a lot of people from...
Oh, for sure. I think there's also, like, I don't know, there's part of me where it's like, I've said stupid shit.
Oh, I know it, but I can't... Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know that I've ever said this stupid shit.
Oh, yeah. This is on a different level.
I've said, like, dumb things, but I've always been, like, aware, and I've also never been like, yo, let me just throw some random, like, sexist, racist, bigoted, homophobic, whatever shit on the internet. Like, what? Who? Why? No.
Yeah, it's whack.
I mean, I've said dumb things, like, you know, peanut butter is, like, whatever. And then I retracted that later, because peanut butter is delicious.
I don't like peanut butter anymore.
Well, that's because you can't taste anything.
Tastes like just burnt rubber.
That's so sad.
It is. It's a depressing life.
If there's one thing I'm sad we lost in COVID, it's Matt's sense of taste and smell.
Yeah, me too. Maybe someday. No. But, you know, life goes on.
It's just her vagina talking. What a line.
Just her vagina talking.
That's like something you would have expected out of Mad Men.
Yeah. It's good. It's crazy.
Or almost I would expect like another woman to yell at another woman. Like angry bar rant moment.
Yeah, like you're trying to stop your girlfriend from like going home with a dude.
You're like, you don't want to go sleep with him. It's just your vagina talking.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like a weird episode of Sex and the City.
Yeah. That's like the equivalent of like think with your head, your other head.
Yeah. Think with your other head there, Chief.
Yeah.
Not your dipstick.
Thinking with your dipstick. Whack.
Number 4, Spec Ops The Line. Creative director and designer Corey Davis and 9 Inch Nails guitarist Robin Fink have announced the creation of a studio called Eyes Out. The developer's debut title is set to be a single-player, immersive, cosmic horror game with strong environmental storytelling elements. What is a cosmic horror game? Dead Space?
It does sound like Dead Space,
is that considered a cosmic horror game, I guess? Alien? Same thing?
Cosmic,
outer spacey.
Well, now I was gonna say maybe they mean like psychedelic, but then they would have said psychedelic.
Yeah. You tripping, bro?
I'm always tripping
through time.
Time
keeps on tripping
into the future.
Sure that's slipping, by the way.
Yeah, it's slipping. I like tripping better though.
Right?
It's called Artistic License.
They used that clip as a intro to a segment on the old, I think it's still going, but I was only listening when Sark was DMing podcast Nerd Poker.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons with Brian Posehn and friends.
We have a Warhammer story coming up. It's kind of like, same miniature.
Whatever, nerd.
All right. Okay, number 5. According to collectibles site Rally, an anonymous buyer paid $2 million for a sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. Bro, that's crazy.
Bro.
Super hot. That's the latest game to break the record for highest price in the last year. Have you read this article yet?
No.
Do you want to guess the 5 games?
Oh, I've read this part. Sorry.
Okay, well, fuck you.
I thought you meant like the actual article. No, I've read your paragraph already.
That's the latest game to break the record for the highest price in the last year. The record has been set 5 times. Last July, a copy of Super Mario Bros. Went for $114,000 at auction. In November, a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3 broke that record, selling for $156,000. Then in April, a copy of Super Mario Bros. Went for $660,000. And then July of this year, a copy of The Legend of Zelda went for $870,000. And all of those were at auction. This newest one, the $2 million one, was essentially the equivalent of a private sale. Rally had bought this at auction prior. I'm assuming with the intentions of auctioning it off again or selling it. And they an anonymous buyer, negotiated with them to buy it for $2 million.
Still nuts. Nuts.
Insane. I guess, like,
in the brain.
If you have, like, fuck you money.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Why not? What would I buy? Is there something
with fuck you money?
If you had fuck you money, is there something like this that's like absolutely absurd that you would get? Like nostalgic or something? I can't think of anything that would really like command that level of price.
I can't think of anything that I would have an attachment to that would not necessarily even command that level of price. I can think of things I would do with that money, but nothing that held like a nostalgic value where I'd be like, you know what, I am buying that.
I can think of one thing, but it's still like it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not really makes sense, but it's like, oh, okay, it's that's normal for a rich person. I would like one of the 6 Shelby Cobra Daytona coupes.
Oh, I was gonna say Dragon Balls. Yeah.
But like that's like if you have mega money, like that's normal.
Well, yeah, if I had
car collector,
yeah, then you end up hitting an Eleanor too, because I'd probably go get an Eleanor.
Yeah. Absurd things.
I mean, Eleanor's after I buy my Lotus, obviously.
Yeah.
My Avora. Then like Siege for when I'm bored.
If you had money, you just have one of each one. You'd probably have 2 of each one.
I'd have one of each one.
This is my absurd drag build I did. This is my I need to go get some things from the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, I'd have one of each, but I wouldn't have the old like Wraith Lotus.
Okay. I was gonna say you better not pick like the fucking wedge shaped one. What's it called?
I think we're talking about the same one. That's like the one I wouldn't have.
You fucking.
I think we're talking about the same one. I don't know. There's been a couple. Like
you
the old,
coward.
The old. Part of me is like I don't know where I would be able to drive it. Like part of that money would go to fixing my driveway, so I could drive cars like that.
Oh yeah. No, we're probably not thinking of the same one because the wedge shaped one is like not like.
I'm thinking of an old one that was usually the typical livery of green.
I don't know. We'll have to discuss this.
We'll find it later. Anyway. No, there's nothing for me. I don't know. I'd probably end up buying. It would be collections of things. There's no one thing that I'm like immediately attached to and be like that.
Yeah. I mean, I really would like an arcade of the Star Wars arcade. I think we've talked about it before. The old one with a
full working cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of my like collection goes into I want a pristine working version of every console that I've personally had or played on.
Yeah.
So like Sega stuff's out because I never played it, so I don't have the attachment to it. But like I want every Nintendo, Xbox, like all working into some crazy.
That's not even like fun stuff though, because it's all like obtainable.
Like some crazy media center, but it's all attainable, so it's not like it's that crazy. I'd probably buy 2 houses.
Just 2? I mean, come on.
Well, I'd rebuild this one. I would have less concerns about what I did when I'm like wondering now, currently, like, oh, what do I do for a room? It's like, now I'll just demolish the room and literally not worry about what money I put in and be done with it. And then I'd buy a house in Speculator. Okay. And remodel that one. Because I've already worked out how I'd remodel that one.
All right. He's got a plan, folks. Now he just needs the money, so.
I'm a man with a plan. And number 6. Riot Games announced Saturday that the final 2 matches of the League of Legends U.S. Championship Series, or the LCS, which are slated for later this month, will no longer be held with fans at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Quote, due to the rise of COVID-19 cases in the United States, end quote. The matches will instead be held at the LCS Arena in Los Angeles. Current ticket holders will be issued full refunds. Shocking no one. Still waiting for PAX to cancel. They might not. They're 3 weeks out at this point, but
yeah.
And we got a state fair coming up. Shit going to get crazy.
I was looking at New York's vaccination rates yesterday, I think it was.
Well, I mean, we're no Mississippi.
Yeah, that was what I was going to get at, actually. Is they're not terrible numbers. Like, there are some counties that are like, ugh, but like they're low population counties, which
but throwing 100,000 of us into those fairgrounds aren't going to be a good idea.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be problems.
You going
to the fair?
Yeah,
I would like to, but it depends. I think it depends on.
Hear me out. I'm in the same boat. I would like to, but there's a lot of factors.
Mm-hmm.
There's one day I want to go.
Okay.
Because there's a show. The show is AJR.
Oh, okay.
8 o'clock at the Chevy Park, not the Court. Park somewhere else.
I didn't know that there was a difference.
Yes. The park is, where they had the drone show in like the lake?
Yes.
Park is that.
So it's free
back
though.
there. Yeah.
Interesting.
8 o'clock back there, AJR.
Weekday, weeknight, weekend?
Friday.
Ooh.
So instead of doing this, we do that. And then we do a podcast different time.
I'm down. I'm fine with that. I went out for the first time in a while.
But
yeah, okay.
It's September 3rd.
What's September 3rd? Like
where does that put you?
3 days after having a baby.
Yeah. So like when do I choose to get murdered? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's not.
We say that now. I'm telling you right now. When do I choose to get murdered?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it depends because
like how much money do I have to pay Amy?
I don't even think it's that. It's just
because I will.
If things go, if there aren't complications, it won't be a problem. The only thing that would be a problem is if there's complications. Which
I mean, you're still in the first week. It's lack of sleep, and everybody's gonna be.
No, man, that's the thing. It's like the first couple weeks is probably gonna be easy because the baby's just like literally like sleeping and eating and shitting. That's all it does. Sleeps, eats, and shits. I mean the shitty part is having to feed it.
That's all we do.
The shitty part is like having to wake up to feed it, but we have to wake up to take Milo out anyway. So it's kind of like a wash. Birds, one stone. Yeah. Situation. So
two boards, one plank. Don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah. Theoretically, like the math on the paper, we should be okay.
Yeah, but that math ain't gonna.
Yeah. That dog ain't gonna hunt. I don't know if that saying's from, but it's from a movie or something.
I'm pretty sure it's from a movie.
Oh, it's from Band of Brothers.
Oh, of course it's from Band of Brothers. You and fucking Jimmy can go hang out with each other.
Probably would have wonderful conversations.
Jake and I will go hang out somewhere else. You two can go watch Band of Brothers.
I would really
honestly, if that was the trade I had to take, I'd take it. Jake and I would get into some trouble. It'd be a fun time.
Yeah. But, Jake and I are on the bad brain level. So.
Ooh, that's true. Brain no work good.
Yeah, exactly.
Team brain no work good.
Back to gaming podcast. Number 7, Games Workshop is preparing to launch Warhammer Plus, a niche subscription streaming service for fans of the Warhammer universes. starting on August 25th. For $6 a month or $60 a year, you get...
$60 a year immediately makes that a deal for anybody that can't do math.
Yeah.
2 months for free.
Mm-hmm. You get TV shows like Citadel Color Masterclass for teaching model painting techniques, Lore Masters to dive into official Warhammer lore, and Battle Report, which follows tournament-style tabletop battles in the Warhammer TV studio. Animations like Angels of Death and Hammer and Bolter. Premium access to games' official companion apps, Warhammer 40,000, the app, and Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which include rulebooks, FAQs, and Battleforge Army Builder. The Warhammer Vault, which includes official novelizations and the whole back catalog of White Dwarf magazine. I didn't know there was this much Warhammer shit.
There's a lot of Warhammer shit.
A free exclusive miniature with subscribers able to choose from a Vindikar Assassin or an Auric Megaboss, with the option to buy the other later on.
Hot take. If you're going to give me a subscription service but only drop one mini, nah, not a fan of that.
Yeah.
One every year, okay. One every 5 months, okay.
Mm-hmm.
2
yeah,
a
but
year,
if you take
solid.
into account you pay $60 a year and you get access to all this stuff for a year and then a miniature, I feel like that's pretty fair. Like,
right,
if you're into Warhammer.
But then, like, when year 2 comes up, I feel like you should get another one.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably what they're going to do.
Well, I just did, by what you said, it doesn't look like that.
I know, I agree, but they're describing this is 1 year.
All right.
So that's what. That's
No
what
need
I'm
to get
saying.
so technical.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think it's kind of neat, the idea of like Citadel Color Masterclass and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of like my grandfather when he was, he would do modeling, like plastic modeling, not like nude modeling. And
I was for a second I was ready to judge your grandfather, and then I was like, you know what? It was back then.
Yeah, and he would get all the like magazines, like Model Railroader.
Oh yeah,
and,
well
like,
yeah, because we shared the railroad thing, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All those, and like they tell you techniques for like aging and stressing
Brush
stuff.
strokes
Yeah,
and-
it's interesting. If you're into that,
Horsehair, non-horsehair, all the different brushes, and
yeah, if you're into that thing, you know,
yeah, I'm sure it's worth the money. It's just for me, I'm not a Warhammer person. So like I don't know. You need to ask a Warhammer person what they think.
all right, well, get on that.
Yo, relax, bro. I was also going to bring up something else. Oh, for some reason, when you brought up
Nude modeling,
I immediately thought of Leslie Nielsen. Naked Gun.
Oh yeah, okay.
When he's doing the one scene and they're like, what the fuck? Like, why is he here?
I need to rewatch those at some point.
I do too.
I remember watching them when I was younger and being like, I don't find it as funny. And then
you need to watch the movies again. Like, don't even worry about the show.
And then I watched like a couple scenes at some point from I don't know why, and I was like, this is fucking hilarious.
You need to watch the movie, at least I think it's the first one, because it's got the Dodgers game involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing, when you'll start seeing Reddit comments, I've seen them for the last 3 weeks, that have been, it's Enrico Palazzo when they're doing the whole... Whenever you see like an umpire make a bad call, and they're like, holy shit, that's Enrico Palazzo.
I've seen those.
Yeah. And that's because it's what he's referencing, because he comes out dressed as the guy to sing the national anthem, butchers the national anthem, and then becomes the umpire.
Yeah.
And then the umpire gets unmasked, and they're like, oh, that's Enrique. Oh, it's so good. There's just so many other quotes from those movies that are just so good. Anyway, number 8. I gotta see if I can find them now. I don't know what they're on. Well, I can find them, but I'll see if they're on something first. Number 8. Amazon has relaxed a set of guidelines that required game makers at the company to exclusively use its own tools and services for both work and personal projects. Weird on the personal part of that. The old guidelines also claimed IP rights to projects made by employees outside of work hours. Of course it did. And stipulated that staff could only collaborate with other Amazon colleagues on personal projects, aka just making them Amazon projects. So what the fuck does it mean personal? Like, What?
That's the point. There's no
That's free. That's just free labor.
Yeah.
Bloomberg reported that the change in rules was shared in a memo from Amazon Games VP Mike Frazzini. He wrote, quote, "These policies were originally put in place over a decade ago when we had a lot less information and experience than we do today, and as a result, the policies were written quite broadly," end quote. I will add, also quite offensively and like bullshit, as most developing places do that. Oh, well, if you made it for us, like, it's ours. I didn't make it for you. It's a personal thing. Well,
you work for us and we own you because of that. So
if you're not sure how, like, claiming things works, you show up to where somebody's already done it, then say that's mine. And then you kick them out of the picture. We did it when we came over to the U.S. Companies are gonna do it to you.
All right, well, there you go. A little history of the U.S.
Yeah, let me broad stroke that one real quick.
Speaking of tragic things, Diablo 2 Resurrected had some betas going on if you're interested. Starting today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till August 17th, a beta is available for those who pre-ordered. Don't know why I do that. An open beta is running a week later from August 20th till August 23rd. That's not the only Diablo 2 news. Blizzard has silently removed TCP and IP multiplayer support in Diablo 2 Resurrected, despite promising earlier that this, quote, core feature would be included in the remaster. In the official blog post, Blizzard introduced a beta FAQ that mentions that TCP IP support won't be available in the game's upcoming beta or the final game due to potential security risks. My iPad said go wonky right while I was reading.
Haha, take that.
As per tradition. And my iPad cover is literally falling apart in my hand, and
the thing is old as shit.
It's older than shit.
Wow. Impressive. The caveman iPad cover. Who'd have thought that's what those hieroglyphics meant?
Worth some money to someone, I'm sure.
I don't think so, actually. I would argue probably not. Anyway, yeah. Interesting. Beta. People that want it. The TCP/IP stuff I think is bullshit, but like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because then everyone's forced to use Blizzard servers.
Yep.
So.
But that also makes it like an online-only game. That means you can't really do LAN without connecting to... Like, you can't do a true LAN.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people true LAN anymore. Probably a minority of the percentage.
More people should.
Here we go again with this.
What?
Listen, I don't disagree with
LANs are fun. Yes. I wish I had more friends.
When's the last time you LANed? Think long and hard about this because I know the rough answer.
Yeah, it was here.
That wasn't a LAN.
Last time I LANed, a true LAN.
Because that's... See, now he's rolling his eyes because I was a stickler for the definition of LAN.
Yeah. The only reason why I'm letting you get away with it is because it's relevant to the story.
Exactly why I did it. Exactly why I did it.
I think it had to be
13.
I think it was when my friend got married.
Okay,
we did it as like the bachelor party thing.
We're never doing
his
this again.
His parents rented the house next door to his parents' house, and we had a huge Xbox LAN and just played Halo and shit.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I was being pedantic about it.
Yeah.
That being said, in terms of a non-true LAN, yes, the last times have been in this house or in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
With all of us hanging out and playing games.
Yeah.
And I miss it.
It's just kind of like sad to see that not be added in like a Blizzard game because I feel like, Blizzard kind of is one of those companies and their games are synonymous with LANing.
Yeah, used to be.
Yeah. Things change.
It's the part that like I think a lot of people like, once again, to the Reddits, right? It's a minority of things, but
Echo chambers.
Yeah. You get in some place and they're like, man, Blizzard wasn't this way. I'm like, the Blizzard you're discussing is over 20 years ago. And there needs to be a hard realization when you realize that Blizzard's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
For better or worse, they're not there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time to do a few of them.
Number 10. Leaks and rumors section. A QuakeCon panel description appears to have leaked Quake Revitalized Edition, which sounds like a remaster of some kind. Machine Games is involved, but previous rumors have described the game as being an original game, so perhaps a reimagining.
Yeah, they took the description down, but, internet. So.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Machine is busy with something else.
Maybe they have two teams.
They probably, unless the other one's close to done.
It was alluded and inferred that this is done.
Oh, that this is already done.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain, because they're doing indie, I believe. Bond is somebody else. I believe they're doing indie.
Yeah, Bond was
Hitman Team.
Hitman Team. Yeah.
Paradox Interactive. No. Yes?
Say it again? Aren't they IO?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. IO. Why do I forget what that stands for? Anyway, it was them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Machine was supposed to be doing the Indiana Jones game.
Yeah.
More rumors. Call of Duty Vanguard is rumored to be announced next week. There's some images that have made their way online, and it looks like another World War II game. According to the leaks, the game will feature 24 maps that will be historically accurate. Other rumored things include dynamic weather and a zombie mode developed by Treyarch. Okay.
So I've heard two conflicting things.
Okay.
Historically accurate maps. Well, I guess they might not be conflicting, but they seem conflicting to me. Historically accurate maps in alternate history. Like alternate history, like shit going on.
I think I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
The landscape's the same. The stories are different.
Yeah, so that's where I was saying, I guess they could be,
Yeah.
they could happen at the same time, but like, it just seems, in my brain, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I understand why you're tripped up by it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's just what it is. Is like,
yeah, I get it. It's a tactic, because if you have historically accurate maps, and then it kind of grounds, it like makes the alternate history part look more real.
Yeah.
Feel more real. But who knows? Maybe we're completely wrong.
Yeah. More rumors. Sony finalized their purchase of Crunchyroll, and according to Eurogamer, Sony is planning a PlayStation Plus premium tier, which would include a subscription to Crunchyroll and other streaming services.
So at first I was like, this is ridiculous. But I thought about it. And they got that whole relationship with Netflix going on. And it would be interesting and a good competitive move against Microsoft for their Game Pass thing to do something like this, where it's like, oh, PlayStation Plus, pay a little bit more, you get Crunchyroll, you get a Netflix subscription, and
or
maybe
whatever.
Else. Yeah,
be really funny to see them include Apple TV.
Yeah, that'd be weird, but yeah,
it'd be a win, but it'd be funny.
I'm like super. If they do it right, I'm hyped about the Crunchyroll thing, because they've already owned Funimation.
Yeah.
And now they own Crunchyroll as well. And if Crunchyroll and Funimation merge, basically I want Funimation's library to get put into Crunchyroll.
Yeah, so you just have one.
Yeah.
One-stop shop.
Yeah. It would be dope.
Oh, my thing went dark.
Haha.
Also, in the most interesting rumor to me, Kotaku sources are confirming rumors that Rockstar is remastering some GTA games. GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas are being remastered using the Unreal Engine and will be a mix of, quote, new and old graphics, according to their sources. Rockstar Dundee, a Scottish office, of course it is, and one of the newest studios at the company, is leading development of the remastered games. Another source explained that the studio is also heavily involved in helping Rockstar on developing the next-gen GTA 5 ports. Before becoming Rockstar Dundee, the studio was Ruffian Games and had previously worked on Crackdown 2, 3, and assisted with development on the Master Chief Collection. The remastered titles are planned to launch around late October or early November. I'm intrigued. I don't have much experience in those GTAs. but I don't know that I like the idea of new and old graphics. That part of that scares me.
That part scares me. I played a fuck ton of GTA 3 and Vice City.
Okay. Yep.
And really none of San Andreas.
Kenny loves San Andreas. And I know a lot of people do.
do.
A lot of people do.
If I had to pick a favorite GTA of all time, it would have to be Vice City.
See, I only truly have 5 as a reference point. I've dabbled in the other ones, but I've never played them through. I just know I hated 4.
3 was really 3 kind of to me was a it was like a new era of video games for me when GTA 3 came out.
Okay.
And I played it and I was like, holy fuck.
Set the bar type
Yeah. Having gone back to it, pretty bad. This, it's, just doesn't age well.
Yeah.
It's that generation that doesn't age well. Vice City could be dope. And that's the new old graphics thing is scary. And it's kind of hard for me to believe, even though it's Kotaku saying their sources are confirming it.
Yeah, I still am
especially the rest of the story that I didn't put in here, but this has been in the works for a long time, to the point of where they were planning on releasing them with the ports of GTA 5 as a thank you thing, and then pandemic stuff happened, it got delayed, and all this other stuff happened, and
part of me wonders,
but they have been recently shutting down all the mods that people have been making.
Yeah. So here's part of my immediate issue, because this needs to be addressed. This doesn't bode well for GTA 6.
Now, GTA 6 is
we knew it was years away anyway, and we, especially with the 5 port, but if they're giving you more fodder to hold you over, we're still a ways out. That being said, which sucks for that, because I would love to see 6, but 6 running on a true only next gen game, which was what 6 I think it should be, would be cool. The other thought is this potentially what everybody kept seeing when the rumored leaks came out about the next GTA being an all-one type experience, where they kept pulling out all these random maps? They're we see the Liberty City map and we see these other maps all showing up and yada yada, and it was just that the guys had been working on how to remaster them, because we've had the leaks of maps for years, and it's just them looking at how remastered they are and connected type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, I don't know, this is
or that is true for 6, and they need to get the remasters out to refresh everybody with all the things they're pulling in, because they're only pulling in 3 San Andreas and Liberty City. We're not discussing 1, 2, 4. There's ones being avoided.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's all.
Yeah. All right. Looks like I got questionable things that we didn't write full paragraphs on.
Yeah, you do.
Hell yeah. PAX Australia 2021 has been canceled.
Shocking.
Ninja Theory has had 6.3 million Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice players.
And we still don't have 2.
I'm really irritated about that.
But hey, good, Rook, before he goes into the deep end, good job.
Yeah.
6.3 for a game that
20 people made?
That, but also, would you, if you went, after you played that game, would you think that 6.3 million would have played that game?
I would say no.
That
it's
seems
one
like
of those catch-22s.
It seems like a 2 million cap.
Yeah, where I played it and I was like, 6.3 million people should play this game, but I don't think 6.3 million people will play this game.
Which I think is also driven a lot by Game Pass.
Yeah, for sure. That
would be interesting to see the breakout of that number.
Yeah.
How many were Game Pass plays versus non-Game Pass plays.
Yeah, they really need to get on
I wish they could,
because they're going to miss the wave on that, I think. If they wait too long. I
did the wave. I did a one-man wave.
It was good.
Okay,
I have really bad heartburn. Following
that
EA's...
fish.
There's so much going on with me right now.
It's all just the fish.
I think it might be the tartar sauce as well.
Oh, interesting. It might be the coleslaw.
I only took like a small bite of that.
It might be the coleslaw.
Following EA's acquisition of Glue Mobile, Glue CEO and their COO are leaving the company.
See you later.
Yep.
As per
EA's like, get the fuck out.
As per EA's track record, as they quoted, of doing great things with the studios they acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure, guys.
11-Bit Studios has announced Frostpunk 2. It's set 30 years after the end of the first game.
Electric Boogaloo.
Apex Legends cross-progression feature has been delayed to 2022.
Sad.
And Battlefield 2042 Exodus short film came out and we watched it. It's 9 minutes.
Looks pretty. Goes about what you expect for a military short film.
Pretty straightforward. I guess the idea was to set the plot and setting and everything like that for Battlefield 2042.
Again, no balls to kill a kid.
It was just there.
I mean, they're technically not supposed to be doing a story, so like it makes sense. They're there to show the operatives.
Yeah,
they're not doing it to build an actual like campaign mode because they're not building a campaign mode.
I just like if they're not doing a story, then why do a story?
Then why do
like
the only
why
thing I
not
can think is because they're just like introducing like the guy you see with his kid is one operative. The guy you see save him is a different operative, and the guy that's a voice is one of the ones that's like on the bad team, but it's just another operative.
Yeah.
So it's just a multitude of like, hey, let's show off some operatives, and then that's just kind of it.
Maybe the kid's an operative.
Ooh, hot take. Child soldiers in Battlefield.
A Japanese thing as well. Gundam, I should point out specifically. Well, actually, you know what? Wow, there's a lot of animes that have child soldiers in it.
Yeah, they had a lot of them over there.
Well, I mean, we're saying, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
I'm saying over there, Asia.
Yeah. I was going to go a different route.
I get to claim a lot of countries when I say Asia.
I was going to go a different route, but it would have been no bueno.
Yeah, no bueno. It's too no bueno. That means I get the section I didn't update, but I told you I would do it this week for you. So here we go. PlayStation Plus games for August. You guys are going to get access to, or already have access to, Hunter's Arena Legends for the PlayStation 5 and 4. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville on the PS4, and Tennis World Tour 2 on the PS4. And then, for Xbox Games with Gold for August, that'd be Darksiders 3, available August 1st to the 31st, Yooka-Laylee, available August 16th to September 15th, Lost Planet 3, from August 1st to the 15th, and Garu, Mark of the Wolves, available August 16th to the 31st. So there we go.
Nice.
It has been 7 days. What have you been up to?
I don't think I played any video games this week. Did I? I did not. It was a busy week for me. Crazy shit. Just one of those weeks, man. Insane.
Brain.
Tried to put a ceiling fan up in a room, which naturally goes terrible with my house. So that
and that's obvious.
Yeah, and that's obvious. To keep the story short, but also entertaining. I had to get a ceiling medallion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but a ceiling medallion to cover the larger hole I had to create. We have plaster and lath ceilings. And we need to paint the ceiling medallions. The brush wasn't working because it's a dumb plastic, so I went out and got spray paint. Went to go spray paint it in a storage room that is off of our kitchen. My lovely wife, standing in the doorway, thought she would help by shaking up one of the cans.
I did see this.
I bought 2 cans of paint because, I'm not a fool. I know that these brands got different shades of white going on.
That's true.
So I bought two different brands of white. We were shaking up the cans to test spray them. She picked up the can via the top. Rookie move, but there's a lot of backstory to that whole thing as well. It's safe to say that she was within her rights to pick it up by the top because we've already fought with spray paint cans that week with tops coming off in dramatic fashions where they were basically like child locked on in a ridiculous way. Long story short, can falls off of top, hits ground, punctures. So I know people have talked about aerosol cans puncturing from drops. Never seen it happen in my life.
Yeah.
And it dropped 3 feet onto like a not really a hard surface.
No, not for where it was, no.
And it straight up punctured out the side.
Oh.
White can of spray paint, full, punctured, spraying paint in the doorway to the kitchen. Samantha, thinking with her dipstick, kicked the can into the cold storage room, which is, we don't care about any of that stuff. In the process, though, it sprayed the door, sprayed the floor, sprayed her legs, sprayed my arms. And within like the 30, being generous, 30 seconds it took to get the can into a bag.
Yeah.
Which I threw a puppy pad that I was using as a spray mat, essentially, over the can. Then we put the can in the garbage bag that she ran and grabbed. The paint had basically dried completely.
Yeah.
Spray paint dries extremely fast.
Very fast.
So I had that mess to deal with, which took like an hour and a half to 2 hours to clean the paint off of us. We didn't even try to clean up the paint that got anywhere. We just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's white now. And so that happened, and then the fan itself was a 4-day affair, which still doesn't work. I would finish it this weekend because the people in the house prior to us didn't believe in junction boxes. So there's 4 wires going into a single light fixture.
Oh.
What else? Other things happened. I went out.
Did she show you my comment?
About the spray paint one?
Or?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it's a reference you'd get. I don't know if she understood what I was referencing.
I don't know either. I was like probably angry and not half paying attention.
But like the true shadow effect of...
Yeah.
She sent me it with the shoes still there, which is the real
kick. Yeah, it looked like a nuclear bomb had gone off.
Yeah, you had just been vaporized in place.
Went out to a local brewery, have some drinks. First time I've gone out in a really long time, so that was interesting. But I started doing some I thought I wasn't going to be able to get a PS5. So I started revamping the desk setup under the anticipation of being home for 2 weeks. I'm going to play some fucking games. Like, some shit's going to happen. So that was the water cooler. I bought the water cooler because my PC, it still was running on the stock fan and heatsink, obnoxiously loud.
Right.
Bought the water cooler. Thought I'd give that a shot. Bought some gas piston monitor arms. A dually set up so I'm going to get a second monitor again. And that's where I'm at in life in this short, my shed blew over today and took off through the lawn. So, that got to deal with that when
runaway
tomorrow.
Sheds, man. They'll get you.
These fucking people, man. They attached this metal shed to the asphalt driveway with like tent stakes.
Solid.
So that's where I'm at. How you doing? What have you been up to?
I haven't had a shed blow away. I haven't vaporized anything with
your life
paint.
is already better than mine, so
I haven't vaporized anybody with spray paint. It's just been a slow week. I don't know. It's kind of been like a whatever week.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of, I don't know. Work, home. I made the mistake of not being able to sleep one night. So that resulted in this podcast, I'm assuming, sounding entirely different. Because I changed settings and stuff, so, hey, if it sounds different, and if it's better or worse, let me know. If it's worse, well, I have a bigger issue. If it's better, then good. If it's the same, well, screw it. That's what we're staying with. Then, doing the WoW thing, the World of Warcraft, playing the show as well, Field of Dreams game, watching that, Soccer starts up this weekend, so I'm pumped for that. Sent some cards out for grading. Just to experience that for the first time. might have bought some Pokemon cards. There's a box behind me over my shoulder.
Okay. I guess it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I had the urge to rip. Then, so funny fact, when you were talking about like things you would buy with, fuck you money. When I was looking for something to buy of a, cheap price in relative location to $2 million, when I was looking for that box, or, a box like that, there was a box from one of the early sets, I believe. I don't know if it was a full booster box or if it was a pack or what it was, but it was old. It was old Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It was a box, not a single pack, but like a pack of boxes, probably I don't know. I don't think it was a booster box, but either way, the box for cost was $55,000 to $60,000.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's not counting like a guaranteed card inside of it. That's just the chance. And I was like, I don't have that kind of money, so I'm out. So yeah,
that's going to be like Pokemon cards are going to be one of those things.
They already are.
Yeah, that people dump money on.
Yep, they already have been. It's stupid. Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. And Magic. Like those are the three highest ones. People do buy like Dragon Ball Z and Digimon cards, but like they pale in comparison to those the three giants.
They never were like obscenely popular.
Yeah.
Like
not the cards.
Yeah.
And then in the typical me fashion, so during WoW, because I know people want me to tell this anyway. During WoW, we were Wednesday night is our first raid night of the week. It turned out this week to be the only raid night. But we had about 7 people from the guild. This is similar to last week, where last week we had to pug, 14 people, I believe.
Yeah, 14.
We had more people from the guild this time, so we had to pug less. But in my pugging, we ran into in the first, like, just opening the list for people to apply. There was one guy that showed up, and I grab anybody that just looks like they're good. And I grab him, and then we pull the first boss, and he beats me in damage by a whole million. I was like, oh, all right, he's good. Really fucking good. And then I checked what guild he was in, and he was in the 12th ranked guild in the world, and I went, oh, that explains a lot of things. And then he started just suggesting people to invite. So by the end of the raid, when we killed it all said and done, there were 25 people in the raid group. At least 10 of them probably were from that guild. So we got to raid normal with people from the 12th ranked guild in the world. And in case you're curious about how that goes when they're stepping themselves down 2 levels of difficulty to murder things, we smoked it. But it was a fun time. I was like giddy with trying not to tell people who we were with. It wasn't like a fangirling moment for me, but it was definitely like a this is pretty awesome type of moment. I didn't recognize anyone by name that we were with. I know a couple people in that guild, but that was in our group. But a bunch of people kept joking with me in like our Discord of like, are these the people we ran with 2 weeks ago? And I was like, no, that was an entirely different server, and they were 12th on their server. And they're like, who are they? Do you just have like a random entire guild on Illidan you're friends with? And I was like, nope, literally not me at all. This guy just keeps asking for people to get invited, and I just keep saying yes because I know they're good.
You're gonna get poached.
No, I'm not gonna get poached. I'm not gonna get poached by a top 100 guild out of nowhere. Let alone a top 12, and then by joke the 4 that I applied to due to your peer pressure.
Listen,
so I'll tell that after. Hold on.
Trying to make sure you succeed in life.
So we were going through. Stop that. So we were going through. I told them I did that. By the way, I told my guild I applied to a top 4 guild in the world, and I was just like, just so everybody's aware, I know I'm not that good, and I have no right doing it, but I was coerced into doing it. And there was like some like haha, but almost like trepidation haha, like is he serious or not? And I'm like, no, I did it, but like I don't expect to hear a damn thing. But so we were going through this whole thing, and he's just inviting people, and every person he's inviting is a DPS person. And I was like, I need healers to balance out the constant amount of DPS I'm getting. So at one point, we were going towards one boss, the 8th boss in the raid, 8, 9, 10, 8, and he's just inviting DPS, and I'm having like a hard time at a certain point saying no, because I know how good they all are, and I know that in theory, if you just kill it fast enough, it doesn't matter how much you heal somebody if it's just dead before they take damage.
Mm-hmm.
Which, haha, good joke, but it's also true. I messaged him at one point. I was like, listen, I am fine with you bringing the DPS, but like, do you have a healer? Do you have a healer to at least balance out some of this? And he's like, she don't know. Actually don't know. So they messaged me and they're like, no. And I was just like, shit. Next thing I know, literally 5 seconds later, the next message I get is a shaman requesting to join the group, and then they whisper me and they say, oh, by the way, they sent me. Like, so-and-so sent me. And I was just like, oh, perfect, ad. So they came and healed one fight so we could get through it, and then they bounced right after the one fight, and I was just like, thanks, random shaman friend. See you later. And then we went into the final 2 fights, and I ended up finding 2 other healers randomly. But yeah, they absolutely just slammed, and it was just fun to be a part of it, where I wish I had still performed better on the final 3 bosses. I performed well, I think, up until that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see the resources available, too, like, for them to just be like, oh, all these people join. Be like, I need a healer. I'm like, we don't have one. And then all of a sudden, like, they're like, oh, I'm showing up because
I messaged the guy that's inviting everybody, and I'm like, hey, can we get a healer? And he's like, I don't really have one. And then after he says, I don't have one, 2 seconds later, I get a message that's like, so-and-so sent me. And I'm like, oh, you do have one.
That's like you go into your guild, and you're like, all right,
he's just literally going through. He's got the old
person.
He's got the old Rolodex out, and he's just flipping through names of like.
Or he just goes into like guild chat, and he's like, "Is there anyone who wants to come heal for me?"
Yeah, literally, I just need you to heal one fight.
Yeah, big guilds, man.
One fight, we're gonna stop it, move on. Like, yeah, exactly. Big guilds, and heaven forbid, they're also really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody in the guild. I never. One person figured it out. And they messaged me, and they're like, "Oh, they're 12th in the world," and I was like, "Yeah, but don't say anything, because I don't want people to know who they're with."
Yeah,
because then it changes mentality of a group. Not every group, but like there are people that get affected when you say like, "Oh, by the way, you're like, oh, you're teaming up with Michael Jordan tonight at a basketball game."
Yeah.
I don't want to look like you. Performance anxiety can happen for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't care. Some do. So. I just didn't want it, but I just kept getting asked. They're like, why are there so many people? Where do you just keep finding them from this random guild? And I was like, it's not a random guild. Like, I know that guild. I don't know that guild. Like, we don't have there's no communication lines. But I know obviously I knew who they were. But yeah, it was a fun time. And then I told them afterwards, I was like, so you guys just raided with the 12th ranked guild in the world. How does it feel? And it was just like, oh, that explains a lot. And I was like, yeah. That's why that does explain a lot. So
let's see if we can keep the trend going. And
how high can I push?
How high can we go?
I went 12th on a server 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I've gone to 12th in the world for my pug for the guild. It's like, can we go for top 10?
We'll hit up Max on Twitch and be like, hey, you want to raid?
I couldn't.
You want to raid?
I don't have the balls at all to do that. That's like really pushing it. Because like I actually like Max.
Ban.
Yeah, exactly. I'd get banned so fast. No, but it was a good time. And then what did I say? I was going to tell you right after that. Oh, the application thing. So BDGG, or Big Dumb Gaming, had put out a post of they were recruiting players. And I think a lot of the top guilds are recruiting for going into next tier. Even though next tier is currently a who fucking knows when time away.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll be when the next patch drops, which is... For all intents and purposes, it's going to be a year at this point with the way this is going.
Yeah.
So they just started doing the recruiting stuff because they're, just randomly running through farm and whatever. And they put out that they were recruiting for people, and I just liked and retweeted it. And then Matt hit me with the old Shia LaBeouf "just do it" meme.
Yeah.
And I hesitated. I was like, I'm not going to do this. And then I went and I looked at their application, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, there's a section that asks, when's the last time you rated seriously? And it's like, my first answer is never.
Well, I mean, like, that's an open-ended question.
Well, like, I've never rated Mythic, technically.
Well, yeah, but, like, that doesn't necessarily mean, like, maybe they do mean it in that sense, but,
like I was AOTC, I was ahead of the curve for heroic kills in Nathria.
Mm-hmm.
But that's literally just last tier. And
Yeah,
this tier, I've killed one heroic boss. Hey, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cat aggro. And, so it's like, it's not the same thing. I haven't done any, like, a Mythic raid. I've done some Mythic fights, but I've never done a full raid, and I've never, like, had to do a full Mythic progression raid.
Mm-hmm.
But then the kick was... So I got to that question, and every time I would just, like, reclose the app back out, and then I'd reopen it again, I'd fill it out, and I'd get there, and I'd be like, what am I really doing? And I'd back out again. And then I was telling you guys, and you're like, just do it, you pussy. And I was like, you know what? Shit, screw it. He in my night of doing the audio for this and just like being up too late, I was like, screw it, I'll fill it out. And
don't have anything to lose.
Exactly. I'm like, what's the worst case? And also the real case is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Either no or I get ignored.
Yeah.
Which both understood and expected.
Yeah.
I had an issue, though, technically, like, with filling it out. So I filled everything out, but they have, like, 3 sections that had, like, buttons where it should have created something and you should have been able to fill something out. It was to add alts that you're willing to play. So, I would have played my Priest or my DK or something, but I couldn't put it in because the button just, every time I clicked it or clicked anything in that entire row, nothing would happen for me to enter anything. So I was like, okay. Then... the experience one for where if you like rated whatever couldn't write anything in that because it was the same thing. It was the same exact setup of a button or in like a little text, but I was like, I can't figure out where I'm supposed to click on this at all, and I clicked every single where. The only thing I didn't do was go open up the HTML file and start digging through where it thinks I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which this is almost for a joke. I'm not going that far into figuring this out. Then there was the third button that I couldn't get to work was to post a screenshot of your UI. And I was like, okay, I'll go get in combat with something real quick because you never want to see a standstill UI. You want to see an in-combat UI. And so I went and started fighting something and then just hit print screen and went to grab it. And then I went to go upload it and I was like, the button doesn't work. Screw it. I have no idea why this button doesn't work. So I get down all the way to the end. They have 2 questions at the end. One question is... in a 20-man raid, a undispellable debuff hits one person. Then when that person, it will kill them in 2 minutes. When they die, it then spreads to 2 people. How long does it take to kill the raid after the first person's dead? So a little bit of math. Not hard, but there's math for me, it's math with a caveat because the answer is 8 minutes. 2, 4, 8, 16. And then it depends on if that mechanic doesn't prioritize tanks. Because if it somehow goes on the tank and the tank dies and you don't have a way to get them back up, well, that's a lot shorter than 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's that. I was like, all right, that makes sense. And I don't even know if that I'm right. I feel like I'm very right, but because there's no grading for the test, I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually right. I was half joking, like 6 minutes, we beat it with a DPS check, and it's like, it's not right. This is not the answer. And then there was the final box was to write a haiku. So I wrote a haiku based on the options that I couldn't submit. I couldn't click buttons.
Oh, really?
Or submit things.
That's pretty good.
It was entirely like tried to upload wouldn't click button or something, or wouldn't tried to click buttons, and then wouldn't let me upload, pressed submit query or whatever. It ended up being a haiku. It was 575 and I just had to send it.
Sure, someone will appreciate it.
Or not read it at all.
Never know.
That's what we're expecting here at Gamers 2.
It's the first step. You broke the seal.
The first step is acceptance. That's what I've been told.
Well, the first step to
I thought it was denial, but
the first step to wow supremacy.
the first
is
step
speaking.
Supremacy?
Yes. Yeah, we broke the seal.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure, yeah. We broke the seal.
We broke the seal.
I wrote a joke of an app that somehow isn't even as bad as Max's first app in Pandaria.
Well,
when he does, because what I didn't write in the Big Dumb Gaming app was that I do sick nasty damage.
Sick nasty damage.
All right, well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
I do not.
I'm curious to hear from whoever listens about audio. I know I should have said something at the beginning, and there's a solid chance, because I'm just naturally louder than Matt with the way that I've done these settings, that I might just be louder than him now.
I mean, generally, you're louder than me.
Generally, I'm louder than a lot of people.
He's just loud.
Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next week.
Hi, this is Trace from the Horror Queers podcast. Shudder is the ultimate streaming service for fans of horror, thrillers, and the supernatural. Shudder offers an unbeatable selection from Hollywood favorites and cult classics to original series and critically acclaimed new genre films you won't find anywhere else. Explore the best collection of horror that pushes boundaries, showcases bold, original storytelling, and offers something new to watch every week. Available ad-free and through the platforms you're already on. Shudder. So good, it's scary. Sign up at Shudder.com.